Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to share with you guys what is, in my opinion, the best ways to farm the Legion Legendaries. Now, recently I have finally gotten one, and not only have I gotten one, but I got a pretty good one at that, so that was awesome to get. I was very, very happy, and if nothing else, and honestly, more than anything else, I was relieved, because now I don't really feel like I'm kind of at this arbitrary disadvantage against people that already had one, and I'm playing on a more even playing field. And so what I wanted to do for you guys is share what I did to get mine, and also share what other people have been showing me and like sending me pictures and everything. People send me like 50 pictures a day of them getting legendaries, so I've got kind of a pretty big sample size of what at least seems to be the best and most, I want to emphasize this a lot, time efficient ways to get the legendaries. The reason I'm emphasizing that is not everybody has 12 hours to play every day. So I want to make sure that if you don't have a lot of time, that you're spending the time that you do have in the most efficient manner possible. So we're going to be going through priorities like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, and what you should be doing with your time if you don't have a lot of it, and even if you do, what you should be doing first. So number one is making sure that you at least do one Mythic Plus dungeon per week, and the reason for that is each at the beginning of next week, and so like on the next Tuesday, right, on reset day, the raids reset, and there's also going to be a chest in your class order hall, and that chest will have, if you complete a Mythic Plus dungeon, it will have a piece of gear equivalent to the level of Mythic Plus dungeon you've completed, and it also has probably one of the highest chances of dropping a legendary out of that chest. So even if you're not even going for a legendary, I would recommend to do this for sure, because if you complete a Mythic Plus 10 dungeon, and by the way, in order to get these chests and the gear that correlates to it obviously is going to be the higher the level of Mythic Plus dungeon you do, the better gear you get. At Mythic 10 it caps out at 880 right now. So if you complete a Mythic 10 dungeon like outside of the time limit, you're still going to get an 880 piece of gear. It doesn't have to be within the time limit. That's been changed back and forth, but that's currently what's working in the game. So I did want to make sure you guys know that, and it's also one of the best places to get a legendary. So even if you're not going for legendary, you should still do this, and it's probably one of the most lucrative ways of spending your time in the game right now anyway. Now, number two is making sure that you do your daily emissary quests. Now, each day, if you look in the Broken Isles map, you can see the little emissary down at the bottom, left, and you can see like basically how many quests you can complete, and the quests that you need to do are lit up, and so you do all the ones that are lit up, or at least 4 of them, and you go turn it into the emissary person, and there's a very, very high chance for you to get a legendary out of those emissary boxes. Also, you get reputation with that faction. You can get gear out of that at the same time. The gear isn't very good though. They do need to make that scaling, but they haven't. And that was basically the main place that people were getting legendaries before before Mythic Plus dungeons came out, and Mythic Plus dungeons really came out. And so I would recommend make sure that you do that emissary chest every single day. Has a very, very high chance to drop the legendaries. Now, number 3 is raid bosses. Now, raid bosses, it seems to me that normal mode raid bosses don't really have a very good chance of dropping these. Whenever I did this on Heroic, we had basically between 1 and 2 people, and obviously this is only 2 runs that I did, right? So a lot of people probably would go through there and get none, but I'm sure other people go through there and get 3 legendaries per boss. So out of 1 run, I think we got like 8 or 9 legendaries. It was insane. So make sure that you try, if you know how, and if you have the gear and everything, you try to do at least Heroic Emerald Nightmare each week. And if you can't do that, at least try and do normal mode. I haven't really heard of a lot of people getting it out of LFR, so I'm going to assume that the chance of getting it out of LFR is about the same as the chance of getting out of Heroics. Now, the 4th thing that you should do, and this is kind of the thing, and beyond or below the 4th thing, the only thing that I would really say that you should actually do if you're really trying to go for these legendaries is maybe do the PvP Strongbox. The way the PvP Strongboxes work right now, I think, is that at the beginning of the week, same as the Mythic Plus cache, the first, I think it's like battleground or arena or something you get a chest in it, and has a special piece of gear that's like, it equates to your rating, right? So if you have like 2200 rating, it's going to be higher item level piece of gear than if you you have a 1500 rating. I'm going to assume that that chest has a higher chance of dropping a legendary than the normal PvP chests. So I would recommend that if you are a PvPer, that definitely make sure you do that at least once a week. But besides that, what you really should be spending your time doing is doing Mythic Plus dungeons. Now, Mythic Plus dungeons are the best place to get legendaries in terms of how much time you can put into it, and this takes a long time, right? So the other ones, the Mythic Plus Cache, the Emissary chests, and the raid bosses are going to give you a higher chance per time that you do them, but the Mythic Plus dungeons, since you can do them so much, that's probably what's going to get you the legendary if you have a lot of time. So I would recommend making sure that you do Mythic Plus dungeons. Now, what I've seen a lot of people getting this stuff out of is doing it with like the 2 or 3 chest runs. If you complete the dungeon within like 40 or 60% of the time, then you get more chests. Each chest has 2 pieces of gear for each person in the group, or not for, sorry, for the group total. And so if you get 6 chests, that's 6 pieces of gear total for the group. 4 chests, or 2 chests is obviously 4 pieces. So the Mythic Plus dungeons are probably the best place to get legendaries. That's actually where I got mine. I got an Eye of Ashar. It was fucking awesome. I was very, very glad about that. With Australians, I never expected that, but I did. And I was just really, really glad to have that happen. And so I wanted to make this video and share with you what I think the best ways of getting them are. Now, other methods and other places you can get the legendaries, you can get them from rare spawns. Probably not going to. You can also get them from the treasures, the little treasures out in the Broken Isles. I'm going to assume that the chance of getting that is basically 0, so I wouldn't waste my time doing that unless you're going for the achievements anyway. And you can also get them through heroics. If you are a very, very casual player, right, you don't really have the time to find like a group from Mythic Plus, or you just aren't really that good at the game for whatever reason, you just don't really care, then maybe heroics would be a good path for you to go on. But if you can do Mythic Plus dungeons, doing heroics is not only a waste of time in terms of the gear that you get, but it's also a waste of time in terms of the legendaries. As soon as Mythic Plus dungeons were unlocked, I think this is how it works, and I think every single time that you open a chest, because there is bad luck protection for legendaries, so every single time that you open a chest, that counts, and you don't get a legendary, that counts as an unsuccessful attempt, and that increases your chances for getting legendary in the future. And I think that the Mythic Plus chests are some of the highest weighted modifiers in that bad luck protection algorithm. Now, I don't know that. I obviously don't know. I don't work at Blizzard. I don't know what the algorithm is, but that's what I've seen. I've seen tons of people getting legendaries from Mythic Plus, and I've been seeing a lot of people get them from raids. Those are the 2 main places that I've been seeing people get them. But obviously, the reason I say doing the Mythic Plus, the Cache, and the Emissary box is because you're going to do that once a day, right? Do Mythic Plus a bunch of times, and so obviously you'd probably see more from Mythic Plus. So again, guys, to recap, make sure that you do your Mythic Plus Cache every day. Try to push as high as you can and get as good a gear as you can, and hopefully also get a legendary. The second thing you should do is at least every 3 days, make sure you do your Emissary quests, the World quest out in the Broken Isles. Third thing that you want to do is make sure that you kill as many raid bosses as you can in Normal and Heroic Emerald Nightmare. And the fourth thing is, and the PvP boxes, it depends on kind of what your play style is, but you can do that as well. And the fourth thing is just spam the shit out of Mythic Plus dungeons. And it seems to me like the best and most lucrative and most efficient way of doing that is doing the Mythic Plus 2 or Plus 3 and trying to go for 2 or 3 chests, because that seems to reward more legendaries than doing the higher levels and only getting 1 chest. But we can't really know for sure. That's just what I've seen in my experiences. So anyway, guys, I want to know what you did to get a legendary, and the reason for that is so I know if I ever need to give people advice on what should I do. I want to know what you've done to get yours. And I also want to say something right now. Just because I got a legendary doesn't mean I think the system's great, right? I still don't like it, but this is at least how to use it to your advantage. So I do want to make sure that was clear, because I don't want to have somebody saying that in the comments. I'm sure they will anyway, though. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I hope this helped you. Well, I guess getting it has certainly helped me, so I wanted to pass the favor along. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.